Welcome and hello. This is a video lesson in Python for Water Resources titled Error Handling. In this lesson, we're going to talk about different types of errors, how to fix them, and better yet, how to prevent them. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about different types of errors first. The types of errors I'm going to be covering with a few different examples. Each include syntax errors, runtime errors, and logic errors. Here on the screen, I've pasted in a few examples of syntax errors. Syntax errors are errors that should be caught by the program before it runs just by recognizing syntax that does not work with Python. So in this first example right here at the top, we have a syntax error. Go ahead and look at the code, try to figure out what the problem is. The answer is right here in the comment. We are missing a colon. So we should have a colon right here after the number 22 because this is an if statement. The next example right here is another syntax error. Looks like we're just missing the close parentheses on the end. And then finally, another syntax error here. We have bad indentation. What we need is to indent this print statement. Inside the if statement, we need a block of code, and we could just use this print statement for that. Okay, so if we ran this, we're going to get an error message, and it's probably going to be one error message at a time. So let's just go ahead and see what happens and then fix them. So I'll clear, and then I'll run that Python script. What it tells me first is that here on line 3, we have a river stage greater than 20. It says that it is expecting a semicolon. So let's go ahead and add that. I don't know if you can see it on your screen here, but without the semicolon, there was a little red squiggly. Kind of hard for me to see it, but it does indicate that potential syntax error or some sort of error or notification is waiting for us to address that. All right, so with that saved, and go ahead and run this again. Now we have a different error. This time it's on line 7. It says the peak flow equals 1500 CFS, and then the message is a syntax error. Open parentheses is never closed, so let's go ahead and close that, and then save it. Come down here to the terminal window and run it. All right, so now we have a different error. This is the third one on line 12. There's a problem with the print statement, and what it says is indentation error, expected an indentation block after the if statement on line 11. So this is the if statement, and it wants an indent. So boom, let's give it what it wants and save it, and then finally give it one final test here, clear and run. All right, so no errors. We have the printouts from the 3 different examples right here. Next up, I'm going to provide some examples of runtime errors. Those are on the screen right here. Runtime errors are caught while the program runs. So let's go ahead and just take a look at what we're dealing with here. This is the first example. The problem with this is that flow is 0 and we can't be dividing by flow or by 0. So that's going to give us an error right there. The next example is another runtime error. Undefined variable. We're trying to print out this variable river flow, but we've never defined what that is. In this case, we have a green squiggly line, so it even tells us that river flow is undefined. We don't even have to save it or run the script. The IDE that I'm using here is Visual Studio, and it has some built-in tools that will detect errors like runtime errors. And then finally, our last example for runtime errors is the index out of range. So what we're doing here is trying to print out the index 3 value of the flows list, but we only have 0, 1, and 2. So we'll go ahead and see what those errors look like, or the error message when we try to run it. Click on save, all clear, and then run. All right, so the first error message is reporting here on line 4. There's the error, and then this is the message. It says 0 division error, division by 0. All right, so let's go ahead and fix that. Let's just change this 0 to a 50. Any number is fine, unless it's 0. All right, next up, let's just go ahead and see what the message says here. So I'll save that, clear, run. The next error occurs on line 8. It's trying to print out river flow. The message is that river flow is not defined. So let's go ahead and let's define river flow. So I'll just say river flow equals 5 and save one last time for the third runtime error. That occurs on line 13. What it's saying is that it is an index error. List index is out of range. That makes sense. So I could either add a third value or fourth value here, being the third index, or I could just change this index to one that already exists. Let's do the former. I'm going to just say this is 150 and then save. So that'll print out 150. All right, let's clear that and run. Here are our results. We don't have any more runtime errors, 200, 5, and 150. I got a few more examples of runtime errors, so that's what you're seeing on the screen here. The first one is a file not found error. This file does not currently exist in the same directory as this Python script. After that, a value error. We're trying to convert a string to a float, and this will not convert. It needs to be a number. And finally, a dictionary key error. That's a name error because what we're trying to do here is reference the curve number attribute within this watershed dictionary, which doesn't exist. All right, so let's go ahead and save that and then run it. So for the first error, and that occurs on line 2, it's telling me that the file doesn't exist. So let's go ahead and create that file. Over here in the project directory, I'm going to right click, add new file, rainfall.csv. So now the file exists. I opened it up, but I don't need to do that. Don't even need to close this. I didn't make any changes to the .py file. Go ahead and clear that and then run. Okay, so now that error is gone. We now have a new error on line 5. This one is reporting that it is a value error, did not convert string to a float high. So instead of high, let's go ahead and change this to a number that is a float. How about 22.3? Save that, come down here to the console and run it. Now the next error is on line 12. So we fixed the first 2 errors. This last error is called a key error. Curve number, can't find that. So we could either add that into our dictionary or just reference a different value. Let's go ahead and add that to the dictionary. So I'll say comma at the end of slope, new line, and then curve number. This needs to be a string, so I'll give it some double quotes, and then colon. Well, it gave me extra quotes. Sometimes the IDE I'm using does that. And then curve number, we'll call it, how about 76? Great. So I'll save that and clear the console, the terminal window, run it, and now we get our output of 76. We don't have any errors. The first 2 examples didn't have any output. The last type of error I mentioned, and I'm going to demonstrate, is logic errors. Logic errors will not be caught by Python. They're not syntax errors. They're not runtime errors. They are correct as far as the programming goes. The program will complete. However, the logic is incorrect, so it's going to give the wrong number. Here's an example of logic error. It is the wrong equation. So if we want to calculate velocity, what I'm doing here is doing area divided by flow when it should really be the other way around, flow divided by area. All right, the next one down here is wrong unit conversion. If I have a flow rate in CFS and I want to convert that to units of CMS, cubic meters per second, what I'm doing here is multiplying by that conversion factor of 35.3147. It should really be dividing by that number. The last example here is to open the spillway if the reservoir is above 435. Reservoir level is 438. So reservoir level is less than 435, open spillway. What we really want to do in this situation is make it greater than, or maybe greater than and equal to. All right. So let's go ahead and I already made that change. So let's make the other changes as well. So velocity, it should be flow divided by area. And then for the second example, we want to divide by 35.3147. All right, so I'll save that, then come down here and clear and run. These are the correct values. Now, I could have ran that before making the corrections. They still would have ran. After all, this is a logic error. It's not a syntax error or a runtime error. Now what I want to talk about is ways to map the errors or provide validation so that the errors are properly handled or prevented altogether. Perhaps the most common way to do that is by using a try except block like we're seeing right here. In this situation, we have a 0 division error exception, and it's handling by printing out the text flow cannot be 0. So volume and flow, if I divide by 0 in this situation, then it's going to print out flow cannot be 0. It's a little bit more elegant way to fail as opposed to seeing a line number and then some message about what the problem is. If the flow is not 0, or if we don't have this particular error, we should see the quotient printed out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if that works. All clear and run. This time it says flow cannot be 0 because this exception case was triggered. But if I change the flow to something else, like a non-zero number, and then save, and then run it once again, Now we have 66.66 printed out right here. In addition to the zero division error, there are other types of exceptions. This is an example of a value error exception. What I'm going to try to do is print out the rainfall from a user input after it's converted to float. So if we type in a number or any value that can be converted to a float, it's just going to print out. Otherwise, it is not going to print out. It's going to fail and then trigger this value error and then tell us that it needs a numeric rainfall value. All right, so let's go ahead and try this for both a success case and a failed case. So I will run the script. Boom, rainfall in inches. I'll say it is 4.5 inches and enter. Boom, it prints out 4.5. Now let's try it again, but this time give it a value that it cannot convert to a float, such as the word test, and then enter. Please enter a numeric rainfall value. Another example as an exception is on the screen right here. This is the file not found error. This time it's looking for a file called streamflow.csv. And if it doesn't exist, it's going to print out that the file was not found. If it does exist, it will say that the file was opened successfully. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. So clear and then run. The file was not found. Let's just go ahead and rename this rainfall.csv file. So 1 second, I'll call it streamflow.csv. Okay, clear and run. All right, the file opened successfully. For every try block, we don't have to have an except block or one except block. We could have multiple exceptions. So this is the exception from the previous example. It is a value error exception. This may not really make sense in this situation, but I'm just letting you know that with every try block, you can have multiple different types of exception blocks following it. Another variation of the try block syntax is using a else clause. What it says here is that the else block executes only if no exception occurs. So what we're doing is, again, asking for a rainfall, and then going to convert that to float. If it's a value error, then we just print out invalid number. And if that's not the case, then we're going to multiply the value by 0.75 and then print it out as the runoff. All right, so we'll save that. Go ahead and run it. Let's first give it a value that it'll fail on. So I'll just type out a string, test invalid number. Okay, clear. I'll run it again and say 4.5 inches. And now it says the runoff is 3.375. Another example is to use the finally block. So what we have here is a new clause. It is finally. It comes after try and except. Finally block always executes even if the error occurs. This time I'm opening up a file called rainfall.csv. It's going to print reading the rainfall data. That is, if it properly opens. If it doesn't, it's going to say file not found. And if either way, if it does or it doesn't find the file, it's going to print out this finish processing statement. So let's save that and run. So boom, file not found, finished processing. Let's go ahead and change this file again to rainfall.csv. So we click rename rainfall.csv, come down here to the terminal, run it again. Oops, I spelled it wrong. One moment. Rainfall.csv, terminal, and run. There we go. Reading rainfall data, and then it also says finish processing. Besides using a try except statement, you can type in your own validation and error trapping, like what's happening right here. We're setting the rainfall equal to -2, and then based on that -2, we're getting the runoff. But if the rainfall is a negative value, what I'm going to do is print out the print statement that says rainfall cannot be negative, return none, and if runoff is not none, I'm going to actually print the runoff. So it's not going to be none if the rainfall is 0 or more. We're going to return a value of 80% of the rainfall to be the runoff and then print that out down here. So let's do an example of negative value and a positive value. Let's start with the negative value because that's what I have on the screen already. Save that, clear, and then run. Okay, rainfall cannot be negative. Cool. Let's clear that, change it to a positive value, save it, and then run the script once again. Boom, runoff equals 1.6. In addition to the try and catch and other error messages that we've seen, one more Related topic is to use the assert statement. So what we have on the screen here is the assert statement. What I'm doing is asserting that the rainfall is at least 0. If not, it's going to print out rainfall cannot be negative. That's what the assert statement does. And then if it is 0 or greater, it's going to print out rainfall is valid. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's first go with the positive rainfall. So save, and I cleared my terminal. Let's go ahead and run that. All right, rainfall is valid. That looks good. Let's change it to a negative value now. Save it, clear, and then run. Now we have a message that says there's an error on line 3. Rainfall cannot be negative. All right, well, that's it for this lesson where we talked about error handling for Python for water resources. We talked about different types of errors and then also how to fix them and how to prevent them.